And I'll start recording. So again, good morning, everyone. Again, I thank you for joining us. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and your contribution to knowledge. We learn every time we meet. First, apologies for not being able to meet last week. And the paper for last week will be presented tomorrow. So this hour tomorrow, we will meet. Professor Rashid Olani of the History Department, University of Ibadan, has agreed to present tomorrow, this same hour. And he will be talking about an aspect of migration that has to do with internal migration, but also micro study that is primarily based on ethnographic research. But today, that is not the subject. The subject today is about the fourth revolution. The fourth revolution in education, that is the title. And the distinguished professor that will be speaking to us is Professor Mohammed Ali, one of the three chairs of the Commonwealth of Learning. He has traveled widely. He is known globally. And we thank him for agreeing to share his intellectual property with us. He was actually introduced to the center by one of us, Professor Bamidele, who is also on sabbatical, I believe, at Athabasca University in Canada. So we look forward to Prof. Prof, if you are here with us, just wave to me if you are not signing in with your name. Because some of us, we do, depending on where you are in the world, you probably sign in with an institution's.
Hello. Hello.
Are you there with us, Professor Ali? I don't think so. Please, if you are not Professor Ali, kindly just mute yourself. I don't want to mute all, so that if you join us, then I can, easily identify him. So the title is The Fourth Revolution in Education. And I said before, we kind of, share ideas as per what we know about the Fourth Revolution. Let me do some clearing house. Professor Ali, apart from being a distinguished professor of note and the chair of the Commonwealth of Learning, which is an intergovernmental organization created in 1987. What I call, that nexus, connecting the Commonwealth, okay, as Sir Robertson stated when he was departing Nigeria in 1963, and I will paraphrase, the special relationship between Nigeria, since his last posting was in Nigeria, will remain forever. So Britain and Nigeria remain friends within the context of the Commonwealth. And I think it became stronger, not just within the Commonwealth scholarship and fellowship, but also this learning environment of the Commonwealth of Learning, which our presenter is one of the leading voices. He is also one of our professorial fellows for the next 6 months. His letter has been approved by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Femi Peters, and I think the registrar is signing it. Because of the transition and the holiday, I'm unable to show it, but the staff at the center already picked it up. So we are most delighted to have him, along with 2 other full professorial fellows that will be joining the center. And these are non-stipendiary positions in any case. Also important for us to note is that the second volume of the center's journal, academic journal, is planned for June 2021. We have substantial peer-reviewed articles that we can proceed and hopefully print in June 2021. Having said that, what exactly is the fourth revolution? And I'm going to put some of us on the spot. I'll share with you what I know, because one thing about the nature of our job, those of us that are teachers, is to have plan A and B or C. It's all about preparation. And while we wait on our distinguished Professor Mohammed Ali from Athabasca University to join us, and Professor Bamidele, who is also there on sabbatical, to join us, we can do a kind of a short roundtable to discuss and share with us why the fourth revolution. What exactly is fourth revolution when you hear that? And I'm hoping that my senior colleagues, professors, my colleagues, fellow teachers, and those in the town can also join us in this dialogue. So if you would like to say one or two things, your own understanding, contextualization of the fourth revolution. Is there even a revolution? Can we even say there is a fourth or third or second or first revolution? Whose revolution? What context? What are the, the ingredients that will showcase the revolution? Please, while we're doing this, I want Professor Ali to kindly let me know if he join us. He may be having some technical glitch. We are 6 hours ahead of Athabasca, and we actually communicated yesterday. So what is the fourth revolution in education? Has it to do with the pandemic? Has it been going on before the pandemic? At your institution, how do you infuse elements of the fourth revolution in teaching, in research, more so in collaboration? I will simply put it this way, and then I will open the floor for other comments. Fourth revolution, the way I know it, is the improvement in our way of life. Since we are in the education sector, we'll be looking at technologies. Today, we can teach synchronously, asynchronously. We can effectively use increasing technology, teaching technology, to deliver the content and to engage our students. It has actually changed the world of the way we teach, the pedagogical way that we deliver the content. But it is, in my opinion, much more than just the classroom, use of technology. It has to do with the ability to marry well science and the humanities. In fact, some of you will be shocked that Professor Ali is based in the Faculty of Humanities at Athabasca University, but is well grounded in the use of technology in the classroom for teaching, for research, and the use of Internet of Things, robotics, and what have you. So the ability to connect this technology and make effective teaching and, of course, learning to come alive every semester is what this is about. And that is my own take. I don't want to put anyone on the spot. I'm going to unmute or unmute everyone. I've asked all to unmute So kindly share with us, anybody that would like to, while we're waiting on our presenter, who I'm sure is having technical issue. I need someone to join me in this dialogue.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir. Emeritus Professor Sogo. Go ahead, sir.
Question. Why fourth? Why the term fourth? I mean, to say fourth revolution, there must be first, second, third, and so forth. Can you make some clarification about that? Why fourth?
Yes. Why fourth is you see, in my field of study, we love the question why, how, where, when. And the question why fourth has to do with, I believe, intellectual categorization, and it's debatable. In the last few minutes, I said, can we really say there's even a fourth revolution? So why fourth revolution? Why fourth? Being asked by Emeritus Professor Sogolo is germane. So you're looking at the third one, in my own reading, third revolution is post-1950, and what was developed up until the end of the 20th century. The second revolution has to do with what happened since the 19th century to the end of World War II. Improvement in the way men and women survive. Generally, the use of simple tools, as simple as being able to control such tools or technology as we come to know. There was a time when men traveled the seas without the compass. And I think the use of compass, atlas, and the rest of it falls within the second revolution. Can we really say these are revolution in the real sense of it? But mind you, we are talking about non-bloody revolution. Okay, because again, it depends on the way we define revolution. So why fourth? Fourth has to do with the emergent use of artificial intelligence, robotic, algorithms, and the use and connection between the humanities and science within the context of education, that is learning the various subjects, teaching the contents, researching. So we can challenge why fourth? Why not call it the third? Why not call it the fifth? Why not just say it's another way of conquering the environment? This SP man, I've just muted. Is somewhere in Ibadan driving, and sorry about that. So that would be my own take. Dr. Yebode, can you contribute? Let me start calling people. If Professor Ali is with us, please let me know. I'm seeing some names: Mukadas, Jazoli. I'm not sure whether you are signing. Dr. Yebode, can you share with us your own understanding of the fourth revolution? Dr. Amina William, share with us also. Before you do, I'm not too sure whether I've satisfied Emeritus Professor's question of why fourth. Why fourth? Dr. Yebode. I've asked also Professor Abdullahi Sonaye to contribute, as well as Dr. Ahmad Safrat Bauer, Dr. Dayabu. You see, I'm trying to go to the second, or what I would call plan B, in the absence of the presenter having difficulties joining us. So if you are just joining us, please contribute to this debate about the fourth revolution in education. Let's take, for instance, okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was going to say that so far you have not quite answered the question. You seem to be very, yeah, you're saying that you're not too sure why it is called fourth. You're not sure why it wasn't called third, or
Yes.
it wasn't called second.
Yes.
So you're really evading the answer to the question.
Okay.
I thought I saw Professor Abdallah, former VC. Is he in house?
Let me
You're
quickly
not sure.
respond, sir. Is actually that question at the opening of this. So what I'm saying is that is a question that we continue to probe into, is a question that we continue to ask, depending on our interpretation of events. So, but that is what has become the common phrase or description of what happened since the end of the 20th century. And I think that explains, but the expert that will have done a better analysis is Professor Ali or Professor Adamu is here with us. I'm pretty sure
I think Professor Adamu, I can see him. I can see Professor Adamu.
I can see him too now. So
yes,
I've asked him to mute. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
You can go ahead, sir. Who would like to? Professor Adamu, sir.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, yes, I was distracted. Can you let me know the question again? The issue we're talking about the fourth revolution, right?
The question I'm asking is why fourth? The term fourth, was there a first? Was there a second, a third, and now fourth? If so, can you make some clarification about the various periods?
I'm not a historian, but I think
Tijani is a historian.
Is a historian. Also, Hawa Mahdi is here with us. She has decided to keep quiet, but she is one of the most towering intellectuals in Europe. She lives in Norway, I think, Uppsala. A very, very strong feminist, and I'm glad she's here with us. She doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to reveal herself, but she might probably provide a better answer than I can. But fourth revolution means that there will be fifth revolution, sixth revolution, seventh revolution. It's a evolutionary. Life is evolutionary. We're moving through stages, and once we move, it's a paradigm shift actually. When we move from one stage of development to another, we are challenging what has gone before. So we are, each challenge is a revolution, because we are saying we have to find a new way of doing these things. We have a new development coming up, and therefore we are charting a new progress for the future. So that is why it is a revolution, because a total change, like the scientific revolution.
No, the question of, I agree that it's a revolution. You know, when you talk about 4G, talk about 5G, you know, it started at, so there's some order there. And I was trying to, that's why I asked specifically, because Professor Tijani is a historian. And I said, okay, now that you're talking about fourth revolution, where was there the third one? Where was there the second? And then first? If we can locate some, because really, give me some satisfaction. If you say, well, you're talking about the revolution, the European industrial revolution as first or as second, and we talk about post-industrial as third and so forth, and then here's the fourth.
To be more
then it will make
specific, I think I kind of made a note of that. When you talk about the Industrial Revolution, it falls within the third revolution. It falls within the third, in terms of intellectual categorization, intellectual analysis. The first, first of all, we must understand the fact that it is evolutionary, as Professor Adamu mentioned. It is also a way of explaining the trajectory of human development and its ability to manipulate, to understand the environment. So the first revolution has to do with the Industrial Revolution. As I was saying, the 15th century, for instance, you could talk about the European exploration, massive one, venturing out. Prince Henry, I think the seventh, you know, at the forefront, and so many people inventing. So you have the steam engine. You are able to cover more land, more water, get from point A to B in a speed of time earlier than using the paddle stick and what have you. Even when Christopher Columbus made an error going to North America, the Caribbean, 3 times, he died a poor man because he never knew that he discovered a new world. Okay, he was thinking of where his brain was thinking about, going to China, but he never made it there. So the first revolution has to do with the steam engine, mechanized way of production. The second one has to do with electric power. Okay, discovery of electric power. The third one is also the major industrial revolution in terms of a post-World War II, whereby a lot of emphasis was placed on technology, technology, technology. The fourth seems to be this
artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. In fact, I wanted to use a word. Domination by, that is what I was looking for, by STEM, to the neglect of non-STEM. But we've discovered that STEM cannot survive. And I made mention in my introduction of the guest speaker for today that is actually located in the Faculty of Humanities, you know, humanity. And he has done so well within the College of, the College of, Commonwealth, excuse me, Commonwealth of Learning, that he continued to contribute. So again, it has to do with your own view. If I'm writing a thesis, I can challenge the whole idea of the categorization. I can lump the first so-called revolution with the second so-called revolution and say between 15th century and the 19th century, we have the first revolution in terms of ability by the Europeans in this case to navigate and of course circumnavigate Africa in their quest for exploration, for discovery, but more importantly, in the glory or to the service of the motherland and leading to colonialism eventually. And then the second would be what happened in a post-1900, even to the end of 20th century, instead of stopping at 1950. So again, that is something, and I will validate why that. But what the speaker, I'm guessing, I believe that is not even a guess, is trying to tell us is what has happened. Let's take, for instance, the use of Moodle. Is it Moodle or Moodle? Various technology. We started with WebCT. WebCT used to be, as far as I remember, was a common thing, WebCT integrity. Those are good applications. I remember 2004 at the University of Arkansas in Arkansas. Now we use that. And we use integrity that places us in the same time zone with those sailors in the sea, with those military men and women somewhere to teach the content. That serves as synchronous. But today, integrity is not, if you say integrity, some people will wonder, what is integrity? You know, it has phased out. But WebCT remains. Then we move on to Banner, whereby you go beyond the use of Banner in education sector you go beyond just teaching, whether synchronous or asynchronous, to also a lot of administrative activities. So for both teaching and non-teaching. But today you talk about Canvas, and then you talk about Moodle. In the third world, Moodle, is it Moodle or Moodle? I hope the chancellor is not here to give me if I'm not pronouncing it well. So whether Moodle or Moodle, M-O-O-D-L-E, or the use of Canvas, we have a more vibrant technology that embraces, internet access, turnitin, robotic, and what have you. And I think that is what the fourth revolution is about. Basically, digitization, element of digitization, very, very important. Professor Ali, I guess, is not likely, but we continue the debate. Please, this is an open roundtable.
Can I just say this, Professor Tijani? I think I'm very much satisfied with your explanation.
Okay,
you have thrown some clarity into what I did not understand at the beginning. You see, we had something similar in philosophy. We had periods. We call them periods. There were periods when everything in the universe was, explained in terms of religion, in terms of the gods, and so forth. And we now moved on to the age of reason, the rationalists, all right, where reason had to take over from religion, as it were, And then, of course, we talk about the empiricist period. Now, these periods don't really stand in isolation as such. They shade into one another. And so I'm sure that the periodization about technology, about revolution and so forth, they are similar. So you really find it difficult to say that from the 20th century to so was this. From this period to so, it's you can to some extent begin to you abbreviate them and say, okay, maybe from this period to this period, cuts into another period and so forth. But to be specific is difficult. And I think that's one of the problems you were, difficult to grapple with, whether we can specifically say, the fourth revolution started from this period. I think that's difficult because there's no specific period when you say the age of, the computer or ICT and so forth. I think, they shade into one another, the periods. So I'm really satisfied with your.
Thank you, sir. Someone just asked the question,
very much.
What is the topic of Professor Ali? The topic is what we are trying to also discuss. It is simply put, the fourth revolution in education. I think this was asked by Professor Awa. The topic of Professor Ali's presentation was actually there, is the fourth revolution in education. The fourth revolution in education. And I think he was trying to tell us what they have been doing at the Commonwealth of Learning and what has been the contribution to knowledge. So if anyone else would like to share with us.
Can I just ask a question, please? Yeah, this by way of talking. Since we started this series of, virtual, interaction, I've noticed one thing that we always, when I say we, in now, not only now, almost everywhere we will try to use the Zoom, virtually talk to each other. We always see that we run into difficulties. And the question I ask, and I genuinely ask this question because I don't know what is happening elsewhere. Is this similar to what happens in the United States of America? And I ask this question truly, because I don't know much of what happened in the United States. You, Professor Tijani, you know more there. I think maybe Professor Damo also knows more than myself. Are they experiencing this kind of problem in Europe?
Yes, sir.
In the US?
It is technology.
Yes.
It is technology, and technology, anything can happen. Don't be surprised there is NEPA in some part of US or the Caribbean. NEPA means power don't go. I remember some years back.
Sorry. No. I'm sorry. You're getting me wrong. There will be some NEPA, but you know very well that when you stayed in the US or where you stayed for many years, and the light never went off. So when you say there's NEPA in some part of the Caribbean, of course, some part of the Caribbean is like third world countries. They're similar.
Indeed, sir. In my years in US,
when I talk about Europe, I'm talking on the average. On the average, the US, you see, when you say network problem, this is the kind of thing I'm trying to really refer to. There's no network.
Sorry, sir. Professor Mahdi, you can unmute yourself. I see you raising up. Unmute yourself. Okay.
Yeah. Suddenly you are cut off when you are speaking to somebody and so forth. That is not common in the US. And I don't think it is common. That's what I'm saying.
Before I allow Professor Mahdi to speak, I think I would differ. Indeed, there have been, even in Baltimore, in Atlanta, in Houston, they do experience it, such things. It is not common.
They are rare.
They do experience.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's not common.
Professor Mahdi, please.
Thank you. I think it's very interesting, but I'm going to take you a bit to the side, a bit connected, but also a bit to the side. The problem of the problems one can get from technology can happen anywhere, as you responded already, and a bit limited for some of us where we are. Since I've been here, I think I've experienced
power
cuts. Hello?
Where are you?
Sweden.
I just want them to know.
Yeah, Sweden. So I've experienced power cuts in these 30 years 3 times. I don't think about it. It's only when you ask the question, I thought, how many times? Yes, 3 times. And these 3 times, maybe twice without notice. The third one, which wasn't long ago, it was with notice. It's repair, we switch it off, blah, blah. So I wouldn't take that seriously. But the problem I have with the 4th thing is actually to do with, if we are not, I mean, if I'm going to focus on Africa or Nigeria and to think about education, I will certainly consider technology, but my concern will be the lack of access itself. What does 4th mean to those who are in Nigeria or any other parts of the African continent? So I'd rather focus on the inequality and lack of accessibility first. The fact that we are categorized in such a way that the majority of Nigerians will not have access to it anyway. So for me, that poses a problem rather than the technology itself. But secondly, there's a problem with the technology as well. And I think we kind of, even here where I am, I think we tend to take it for granted in good faith, like all this data, the footprints we are leaving behind, it's nothing. And I don't trust capitalism, I'm sorry to say. I am not on Facebook, I'm not in any social media, and I deliberately refuse to because I feel that there's a risk. You never know. I mean, water, that's the water, the most essential item apart from air in our lives, is being commercialized. And I don't just want my knowledge and my person to be commercialized, to feel used. So if I was going to think about the 4th, I would like to think about the 4th in terms of the depth of meaning it would have for our people, rather than technology itself. It will work, it won't work, whatever. We deal with what works and what doesn't work when the time comes. But what does that mean to Nigerians? And I mean the majority of Nigerians, not you and I who are able to access it no matter where we are. So I'd like a discussion that heads into the lack of accessibility. Why can't Nigeria be in the center of that kind of discourse, of the technology itself, but also access to the majority of Nigerians? That's the kind of question I'd like to address. And may I throw into that the fact that almost always when things like that happen, it is girls and women that are left behind. Thank you.
Well, we can, right now she's freezing. I can't hear at my end.
No, she's not. She's in springtime. And I should point out that Hawa Mahdi was one of the early feminists in northern Nigeria, forming women in Nigeria together with Aisha Imam and all the others. They really charted the entire progress of feminism, focus on women and children in northern Nigeria from APU before they decided to just simply become diasporians all over the world. I'm actually seeing her and interacting with her for the very first time. And I have read her works, I have admired her works for years. Aisha Imam, her colleague, is a very, very close friend of mine. We finished the University of Sussex together in the 80s. So Hawa Mahdi I'm surprised, such a huge giant on the same level as Wole Soyinka is here with us, and very, very proud of the fact that she has been able to join us. So I'm happy, really, really happy.
I really appreciate the invite. Thank you for the invitation. I didn't expect it, and I couldn't miss it once I saw it there. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I think she has raised an important.
I'm very curious.
An aspect. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, as I'm curious, I really want to know her better. She's revolting against the social media. That's very interesting. Those are the kind of people I want to really discuss with. Because
we'll bring her back to discuss that.
Please do.
Yeah.
And
what interests me,
Professor Damu also always make sure he's around.
Okay. What interests me about Professor Mahdi's comment is the fact that even talking about the fourth revolution, we can begin to think about gendering, issue in that context. That is, what is the place of gender? What is the place of feminism?
Don't even go there with Hawa Mahdi. Once you start that, you are going to open a massive can of worms, because that has been her entire forte for the last.
I think it's good.
So we can okay. For instance, we can create.
I think we will learn a lot.
She can present something to us about gender and migration, and what happens when the husband migrates? Does the wife also have to migrate with him? And how do they become diasporians? I think we should exploit, not tap. We should exploit a massive wealth of experience in feminist Africanist studies, and invite her to join us on one of the presentations on specifically, migration to Europe of African women. Hawa Mahdi is from northern Nigeria, and I'm very sure she's one of the very few pioneering northerners who are able to venture out of the country and make a name for themselves outside. She's really a model. I'm sorry, Madam Hawa, but I thought you have passed away because I haven't had to move for long.
I'm alive and kicking.
That's right. I'm glad. I haven't read any of your works for quite a while, so I thought, oh my God, we have lost an icon. But I'm glad you're here, alive and kicking. So we're looking forward to when you can have an opportunity to talk to us about how, for instance, does the Industrial Revolution, the fourth Industrial Revolution, affect women? You are obviously a female, and yet you are not tied down to the fourth Industrial Revolution. You are running away from social media and all the others. Why? Is it because of loss of identity? I mean, look at Sogolo, an old man, about 100 years old, and yet he's into it.
Okay.
So what is it that
so we're experiencing some?
You have to bear it. I'm not enjoying it. I'm bearing it.
Yeah, but you have to, because it's survival. It's part of survival. If you don't want to
Yeah,
get involved in it, other people want to get involved in it, and therefore
I would like
Yeah.
to call
you
on
have to kick in.
Professor Abdullahi Sonaye. I've asked you to unmute, sir. Unmute, share with us your contribution. Professor Sonaye, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm calling in from Berlin. I am originally from Niger. So
there is not a requirement. Once you can get the name of the piece properly.
You have to unmute some people.
There's a transmission of transmission and transmitting.
Yeah, so I want to challenge us actually to think what we mean by revolution. And that is actually following Professor Hawa Mahdi's
Can you kindly start all over? We missed most of what you were saying because of the transmission.
Yeah, you have to unmute Nwosu. There is an Nwosu. He's the one who's making the noise. Can you unmute him? Nwosu. Yeah, Christian Nwosu. Mute everyone and then only unmute Abdullahi.
Bye, bro.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate this initiative. So, as I was saying, I am originally from Niger, but I've been doing research in Berlin for some years now, and I am leading a project on religiosity on university campuses. So, basically, this topic on related to revolution in education is very much central to my project. But it's not just about my project. It's also, I would say, as an individual coming from Niger, traveling to so many countries, getting degrees from a number of universities, and now trying to do something with my colleagues in Africa, in Niger, in Nigeria, in West Africa in general. So I would like us actually to think about what does revolution means. Are we going to keep it just as an element of technology, or should we think about revolution in terms of social transformation? A few minutes ago, Professor Mahdi was alluding to accessibility to education, and I come from a country where that is a major issue, access to education. So whatever technological revolution you're going to have in Niger, I don't think the idea of revolution would sit in that country, because more than half of the people do not have access to education, to learning institutions. So how do we, coming from the context we are coming from, how do we understand revolution? I would really like us to think about what we mean by education, what we mean by revolution, from our own social, political context. So again, I'm working on religiosity on university campuses, and I see how religiosity is shaping or reshaping the idea of the university, in particular in Nigeria and Niger, for example. So that, I think, is something I would like to contribute, push us to think or rethink a bit more revolution, and to some extent also, I would say, education.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have Professor Abdullahi Sonaye's email, and I will share with colleagues on the webinar. On WhatsApp, so that in case you have interest in his ongoing research and you'd like to join. Dr. Amina Williams, I've asked you to unmute. Would you? Question.
Professor.
Would like to say, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I didn't get your last comment, sir, please.
I said, would you like to make a comment on this fourth?
Yes, I think, yeah, the fourth revolution in education, you know, for me, it's an eye opener because it's one trend that has kept people on the edge, particularly the developing nations. Technology is you know, changing, revolutionizing every day. And so catching up is a major challenge, particularly to developing nations of the world. And I think that what we need to do to also catch up with the rest of the world is to domesticate some of these technologies, because if you have a technology that will not in any way impact the developing nations or the local environment, they become, you know, technological globalization. In my own perspective, I believe that we may not in any way be able to catch up with the rest of the world. And so for me, I believe that African nations should champion local device, you know, to meet up some of these trends. For instance, what has happened in NOUN, where I'm domiciled, it's been an eye-opener for us these few days, you know, particularly in the last 3 months, you know, and you can see how the conventional universities are struggling to adapt, you know, so adaptation becomes a major challenge too. So for me, I think we really need to embrace the fourth revolution, but in the context of local production of these technologies so that we'll be able to, you know, adapt to the global community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I love the idea of domestication of some of this app or knowledge so that we just don't borrow hook, line, and sinker, and then we get stuck. And I think we are doing that. Some of our senior, let me say, some of our teachers, I can't call the person senior, the example I'm going to give, because he was already a senior lecturer when I was an undergraduate, year one in 1984. And is the current pro-chancellor of National Open University of Nigeria. And I believe it was in February 2021 that the newspapers carried what has taken him 4 decades to develop. So apart from teaching through Moodle, using Moodle, he has also launched his own mobile app for teaching difficult science concepts. So I think we are making, you can call it the fifth revolution also, because this is indigenous, it is African, and to date, you know, we can count about 30 countries in Africa that have adapted and are currently using this mobile app developed by distinguished Professor Peter Okebukola. And I think I can, you know, we have evidence. Instead of quoting Smith and Smith, John and John, we have 1 or 2, 3 Africans that are making waves. There is also a gentleman, we were together, and I'm pretty sure Professor Adamo will remember him, is Mr. or Malam Ajijola, Akim Ajijola. I'm trying to remember his name. Yeah. We were together on the ICT, proposed ICT University of Nigeria about a year or 2, I would say 2, 3 years ago, when the former Minister of Communication was there. And he is into Internet of Things, he's into robotics and IT, and he has developed with his daughter, who has a PhD in English. I believe Dr. Emina must have come across the daughter, also working, collaborating with Dr. Rekia Mama to develop a massive data analytic or database where anyone can go in terms of research and digitization when it comes to developmental issues. So we are really making this important move. It is unfortunate that Professor Muhammad Ali is unable to join us, but I think we have also really benefited from our little knowledge of what the fourth revolution is about, and that we have also kind of, awakened, if not enlightened, a few of us about the fourth revolution and how we can apply it. What are you talking about, data analysis, or you're talking about the science generally, or the humanities, as Professor Sobolo mentioned, periodization used in philosophy, periodization used in history, or call it first, second, third, fifth. The revolution will continue, and whether we call it revolution, or we call it periodization, or we call it timeline, it has to do with nomenclature and our comfort zone, and that is what, or part of what scholarship is about. I will yield the floor for Professor Tracy Fleming and this person that is Infinix Hot 8 to speak. If they can just share with us, I've asked them to unmute, and then we can wrap up at exactly 11. Professor Fleming, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I thank you for sharing the link to this webinar via Research Africa. I saw it actually yesterday evening. I've worked for many years with a journal called Africology, the Journal of Pan-African Studies.
I can't hear him. I don't know whether the rest of you can hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear him. We can hear him, bro.
Okay, so I'll start over.
Sorry, I guess we haven't.
No, we can hear him. Some of us can hear him.
Okay, well, I began, I learned about this particular webinar via Research Africa, which I think is facilitated through Duke University and in North Carolina in the United States. I'm based at Grand Valley State University in Michigan. I'm currently the coordinator for the African and Afro-American Studies program. I was interested in this webinar because in May, I will be shifting to an African-based university as a senior lecturer in African Studies in Ghana. I've worked for many years with the Journal of Pan-African Studies, now called Africology. And so participating in the Internet of Things in regard to the fourth revolution in education has been quite transformative in my own career. It was through, albeit an elitist mode of communication, it was through the Journal of Pan-African Studies that I was able to read African-based scholars on a regular basis, as opposed to limiting myself to Western-based scholars or scholars who only operated in the Western world. So I certainly understand the significance of modalities such as the internet and formal education being a privileged reality on the continent. That has certainly shaped one of my decisions to leave a tenured position in the United States to work in Africa after this academic year. One of the things that bothers me, I will just put on the floor, is the question of whether or not our utilization of the term fourth revolution in education, it relies upon Occidentalist or Eurocentric conceptualizations of what a revolutionary moment is. We know that educational institutions, for instance, were first created on the African continent. If we move to domesticate our conceptualization of innovation on the continent, should we rely upon the same nomenclatures that scholars in the Western world utilize and start from the innovation of steam engines and progress through electronics up through digital revolutions and now the internet-based changes? Does that point towards the problem that it is a Eurocentric framework? That is a question that I still am wrestling with. So I would certainly appreciate any insight from other colleagues on such a question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fleming. And I think, again, the opening statement and the question that follows by Emeritus Professor Sogolo, why Fourth Revolution, and a response from some of us also reignite the nomenclature. Can we say it is Eurocentric? Can we say it is, we should be thinking more Afrocentric and they adapt periodization, timeline, or another nomenclature? Is subject to further debate, and which time will not permit us to interrogate today, because we will stop in another 2 minutes. But again, I'm looking forward to, first of all, congratulations for accepting that offer in Ghana, Dr. Fleming, and we're looking forward to working together. You have shared your email, and I have shared mine too, and we will be in touch. You know, you sincerely bring to the table the many dimensional nature of the multi-dynamic or the dynamic nature of the subject. And then we look forward to working together again. If Dr. Okparaduru is there, I'll give you the last opportunity. I've asked you to unmute. If you don't have anything to say, I think we can close the meeting.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, Prof. Thank you so very much for the wonderful opportunity given to make a little contribution on the issue of revolution for the fourth one. Just like as Professor Sogolo Emeritus said, was asking the question whether, why is it fourth? I think coming from the paradigm shift in the whole concept, from the normal, usual method, the old fashioned, then coming through to the ICT era. And now this is, I think the current stage where is a bit higher than that of the previous ICT we all know. And in fact, from my own view, I would say that we are not talking about the fourth revolution again. We are on the fifth, because if we look at what happened, thank God for our immediate Vice Chancellor, Professor Abdallah Damu, who actually created this center, and with the help of
Well, I can't hear Dr. Paraduro anymore. I'm not sure whether others can hear him. Okay, I think he's having challenges. Let me close by thanking each and every one of you for agreeing with me to go to Plan B, and for also sharing your knowledge and for allowing us to discuss this topic. I believe we need another date, another time for a serious roundtable on the subject. Let me also announce that tomorrow, this same hour, we will be listening to Professor Rashid Olani, who was supposed to present last week, but for the technical.
Hello, Prof. Were you able to hear me then?
Just hold on, please. Just hold on. Just hold on. Professor Rashid Olani will be presenting tomorrow, and the title of his paper, and I will repost it on the on WhatsApp. The title of his paper remains the same. It is tomorrow, not Friday. It's tomorrow, Friday. It's not Friday. I'm emphasizing that because somebody just alerted me. It's going to be Thursday, not tomorrow. By Friday, this hour, I will be in the air. I can't, host a webinar while I'm in the air. Thank you very much for alerting me, the person that did that. That is one of my assistants.
Excuse me.
So it's tomorrow, and he has agreed to do it
Excuse
tomorrow.
me. Could I ask you, excuse me?
Okay, go ahead. Who is this?
Yes, it's Hawama Hadi. I'm asking because you keep saying you'll post it on WhatsApp. And I wanted to say, could you not send them by email, please? Thank you.
Yes, I will. I'll ask you to share your email with me, ma'am. And
no, you already sent me, so I know you have my email.
Okay. Okay.
It's not on WhatsApp.
Okay. All right. I will get you. We'll get you, man. Now that we've discovered you. But
no, I'm on WhatsApp, Columbus. Actually, but I'm just saying the email is better. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry, we are not Christopher Columbus. We know where you are now. Thank you, man. All so, right. Dr. Paraduro, you have 10 seconds. Wrap it up.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So just like what I was saying, that now we cannot align it to fourth revolution. We can be talking of fifth revolution because the old method, especially in the educational sector, now we have seen the new dimension in which content delivery has taken place, especially from my own institution where I domicile NOUN. And I think the conventional universities will find it difficult to match up with the training so far. And thank God that the current Vice Chancellor we have, Professor Lufemi Peters, has actually gone through the same way to put same feet on same shoe of Professor Abdallah Adamu to ensuring that same training actually took place again this year to enhance adequate facilitation skills to be given to lecturers. And we have gone very far now. And of course, I must thank the university management of NOUN and the staff entirely. So I think we are not on the fourth one. That's my argument. We are no more on the fourth dimension of revolution. We're on the fifth. So because
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paraduro.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the import of your statement, which I believe was mentioned also, was it last week or somewhere at another forum, is the fact that I personally love this aspect of the transition. For the first time, you see a new commander-in-chief, at least retaining some elements. And I stated that day that whether people misinterpret or say it whichever way they want to, Tijani will speak his mind, and I love the fact that that continuity is good. And I thank you for echoing same sentiment.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I thank you for that. Can we have a closing remark from the founder, visionary of the Center of Excellence in Migration and Global Studies, and the person that gave us this opportunity to continue to flower? I would have loved to call the Vice Chancellor who succeeded him, but he is unavoidably absent. I believe he's in the air, returning to Abuja today. Professor Abdallah, kindly give us.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to specifically welcome Professor Hawa Mahdi, our auntie. We call her auntie because she, like I said, she was a pioneering intellectual in the feminist studies. And we'll be looking forward to hearing more about her. Particularly, I'm very interested in women, diaspora, and how women migrate and how they integrate and live outside the country. Abdullahi from Niger, living in Berlin. I've been to Berlin quite a couple of times, and I'm sorry I'm not able to meet. But maybe one day when I get back, we'll be able to meet. So I think it's just simply wonderful that this thing is now gaining wider and wider attention. And now we have Dr. Fleming, we have Abdullahi, we have Hawa Mahdi, we have a whole bunch of other people from all over the world coming together and sharing with us their ideas of either migrants themselves or researchers on migration. And I think it's just really wonderful. I'm very proud to be associated with the center, and I'll continue giving it my moral support. Not necessarily physical or financial. I'm not in a position to do that. But I will continue spreading the word. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone for coming.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me single out one young man, one of the people that was nominated from his faculty, and you approved. And by his grace, he will be heading to Morgan for his doctoral program. I believe two of them are here, two of them. One is Kadafo Samson. Kadafo, wave your hand if I'm right. Are you the one in science? Is Kadafo Samson, right? You look, I was thinking he's an old professor, but when I look at you closely, it's because of your 4 eyes. That is the fourth revolution. Now you are looking like a young man. Okay, and then the other person is doing Ashwini Barrett. They continue to learn, and you should be proud of these people, sir, because by his grace, we will get that letter of admission very soon. I'm on top of it, and they will be making NOUN proud and Nigeria very proud. Again, I thank each and every one of you, and I would like to sign out from the country of Osun State.
Thank you, sir.
You see accreditation and heading back to Abuja very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.